see if I can. So we're starting the recording. It's welcome everyone. Today is our We Vote for Our Climate coffee chat. And to get started, I'd love for everybody to introduce themselves very briefly, because today we do want to connect, empower, and engage. And I'm going to actually share in the chat a document so that we can stay connected after the call. So if anybody's interested in what anybody else is doing, we have a shared, not just in the chat, which disappears. So in the chat, I'm sharing our document so that everybody can add their information there. So because a lot of people are doing a lot of great work, and once the call's over, we want everybody to be able to plug into what anybody else is doing. And so I'll start. I'm Holly Mosher, and I'm the executive director of the Why Do You Vote campaign, social action campaign. And I'm here in Los Angeles, and I started this because I know it's so important to get out young voters and engage them. They actually care more than people think. The voting turnout in 2020 was at 54%, which is as high as it was in 1972 at the end of the Vietnam War. And young people are on social media, so it's important to reach them where they are. They get their news on social media 2-to-1 over broadcast or cable. So this is the right place to reach them. And we also want people to engage with other organizations doing amazing work on each of these 7 issues. We are focusing on 7 issues that most Americans, over 70%, agree upon, climate being one of them. So with that, I see Frances has also joined, so wonderful. But I will let Mike start first with a little bit about yourself, and I think we have enough people that we can go around nicely and share what everybody is, who they are and what they're doing. And please fill out at this, again, I'll share it again in case you didn't see it, so that we can stay connected afterwards. Okay.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I guess I can go pretty quickly. My name is Mike Young. The senior political and organizing director for California Environmental Voters. We were formerly known as California League of Conservation Voters. We are a separate organization from the League of Conservation Voters. However, we're all part of the same confederacy, so we work very closely with our conservation voter movement partners. And I work out of Los Angeles. I've been with the organization for just under 2 decades, and I primarily work on our campaigns.
And can you share just briefly a little bit more about what you're doing this year? That's especially exciting, I thought.
Yeah, so for every cycle, there are a number of things that we run. We have a C3, C4, and a 527. So at different levels, our organization has direct political engagement. We do voter education. We also do policy that helps expand the vote. This year in particular, we're really trying to focus on engaging youth turnout. Actually, later tonight, we have our first youth climate town hall with Assembly Member Isaac Bryan, who is in pathways to authoring ACA 16, which would be a constitutional amendment that establishes a human right to clean air here in California. And it's something that actually we've been engaging youth ambassadors throughout the state, but particularly in the Central Valley and the Inland Empire for the last few cycles, really trying to get young people to be engaged politically and teaching them the tools of how to do that. And they're the ones who actually asked for Isaac Bryan, right? They're like, we're so interested in this initiative, like, can we get this person? And fortunately, we have a fantastic relationship with him. But it says a lot that you have young members in the communities who are like, we want to know what we can do that could, and this is something that they found exciting. And as we know, what really helps turn out people, especially young people, or something for them to want to vote for because they spend so much time hearing about what they should be mad about. But that doesn't get young people to the polls. What really gets in the polls is them feeling hopeful. Admittedly, a little bit of the bandwagon effect when they hear that their friends like something, they're like, yeah, we want to be part of that too. But that thing that they get excited about is something that invests in them. And when people are speaking directly to them, they do respond.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for elaborating a bit, Mike. And then next we'll have our featured speaker, Frances Moore Lappé. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm very happy to be with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Good. So, what do you want me to say? Just what I'm most passionate about, especially about climate, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, often people don't think about what we put in our mouth as connecting to everything, including the heating of our earth. And so one of the things that I've written about that means a lot to me is just helping people understand how, that 37% of greenhouse gas emissions have to do with our food system, and that our meat-centered diet is a particular culprit in this, and its role in destroying the rainforest, which is so important in carbon absorption. So I think it's so exciting to share with people how just eating more healthy, what's healthier for us is the plant-centered eating. There's more and more evidence of that, and we're helping address the climate crisis and the biodiversity crisis at the same time. And so it's a win-win-win, and that's really one of the great things to share. It's not a you should, it's really the positive for all of us.
And then I also wanted to have you share about how you found the importance of working within the democracy movement and climate, how they need to go hand in hand in your journey. To your
Absolutely.
activism.
Absolutely. Well, I've been doing this, I guess, dance or locking arms and arms between the environmental and food movements and democracy, because, a long time ago, I realized, wait a minute, we can't solve any problem, particularly the complexities of these we're talking about, unless we have a democracy that's truly accountable to us. And we know that the fossil fuel industry, because we allow it in our system that we call democracy, we allow the counter to the forces that are actually very narrowly interested in profit and not in the overall welfare in the earth. We allow them so much power in our political system that we now rank 59th in the world in the quality of democracy. We're not up there even near those we think of as our peers. And so I think it's a big, important thing for Americans to understand that building democracy accountable to all of our interests means getting money out and decreasing the role of private interest lobbyists in our system. That's really distinct about us, that's not normal among countries calling themselves democracy. So that's the fire in my belly about why this election is so important, why every election is so important, because although both parties have, this problem, clearly, I think that this election, electing those that are more on the side of the people and not so dependent on money is critical.
Oh, thank you, Frances. That's so well put. And I actually met Frances when we were marching from Baltimore to DC with Democracy Spring back in 2016. So she's like really in the movement, and I was so inspired with all she's doing with climate and democracy. And
Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because that was that was so empowering when we step out of our comfort zone and do something that we're not certain we can do. I didn't know I could walk 100 miles. So I encourage all of us to stretch in that way, and it's so empowering to know if you stretch what you think you can do. And thank you for reminding me of that, March.
yes, thank you. And then next I wanted to invite Amber. I know you're working with the Climate Summit a little bit. So can you share about what's going on there in case anybody wants to engage?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amber, and I'm here in Portland, Oregon, on the West Coast. And I've been working within the climate storytelling space for a while now. First, I was doing live events, and then with the shift in the pandemic, I shifted towards media and have developed something called an umbrella for all of it called Earth Archetypes. And really what's been driving me is this idea of how do we meet people where they're at? We know that people, especially during times of crisis, they actually flock to entertainment. It's been the case through many cycles of our democracy, whether it was, the Great Depression or other challenging times. And there is a larger movement that's happening within Hollywood about how do we do that. And one of the kind of the events that people gravitate to and hinge around is called the Hollywood Climate Summit. It's happening in LA at the end of June. And they're actually doing really interesting different programming this year where they are going to have it all during the afternoons and evenings. So from 3:30 on, and they're going to be looking at the wider lens of what entertainment is. So they'll be focused on film, definitely, because that's its roots. But they're going to have fashion, they're going to have PR, they're going to have gaming, they're going to have journalism, they're going to have a wide range of defining what entertainment means. For example, with fashion, that's actually one of the fastest moving places for climate action right now because people are really waking up to fast fashion and how horrible that is for the climate. But people also are like, but I want to look good. And so it's finding that balance between, once again, the entertainment value of something like fashion, but also how do we make it more climate friendly and more sustainable. And so that's happening at the end of the month. And Hollywood Climate Summit is an easy Google search to find it. And for me, I'll be presenting more about Earth archetypes, which for me, I'm really actually focused on the realms of reality TV because about a third of Americans watch it. And it really gives this opportunity for an intimate look into how we make our decisions around things, especially when people go, well, what can I do? And they look like this emoji character. My response is, well, who are you? Because we're not supposed to do the same things. We're different people. And so it's each of these different shows that I'm working on point towards different ways of looking at questions and how to collaborate with your community by contributing what it is that you have skill sets and passions for.
Oh, that's great, Amber. Thank you so much. And you're entering info, and I invite all of you, like Mike and Francis, in that shared document. Please add any info that would be, I'm adding it again, of value to people to follow up with later, any of your actions, anywhere you can connect. And then Sylvia, I think following Amber, you have done an amazing film about nature and hosted summits. So we'd love to hear all you're doing in the
Sure.
climate and how people can engage, because the perfect transition there.
Thank you, Holly. Thanks for spearheading this effort. I think what you're doing is amazing, and delighted to hear everyone's share, Francis, Amber, and Mike. You know, I'm kind of like on the tail end. We just finished doing an online summit that's called the Heart of Nature Summit, and basically right now I'm in the world of doing courses that are meant to really teach people how to practice nature-inspired mindfulness. And I'm also in the realm of equal dharma. So I'm honored to be an advisor with the advisory board for the Best Family Foundation. And we really look at how do we inspire people to address the pain of realizing what we're witnessing in terms of the unraveling of our world, and how does that sharing of the challenges that we're experiencing, how does that, first of all, bring us together? Because, you know, a pain shared is half a pain, as it's been said, and also empower people to come together so that there's a sense of community And also, how do you move forward with the things that you have learned in community, and how do you get support? And so Ecodharma is a beautiful aspect of the environmental movement, and I'm hoping that it grows stronger, even because it gives people an avenue of connectedness and sharing. So that's another thing that I'm doing. I have my kind of feet in hand in different places. I just got back from Esalen recently. I teach workshops and I do retreats. And yeah, and I'm really inspired to be on this effort, because I really feel that bringing the youth movement into the conversation, getting young people inspired to vote is really, really critical. And yeah, so I'm delighted to be here, and look forward to hearing what everybody else has to say.
Thank you, Sylvie. And then this reminds me of what I was talking to Cindy about when she joined the call. She's in Mexico at the moment, and she mentioned that where she's living is 16% hotter or something, and that how
Mexico's in a crisis. Yep.
and we're just seeing this. So we'll go quickly around, sharing who everybody is so that we can include everybody, and then we'll go to the 5-minute presentation of how people can engage in the social action. So Cindy, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. What an amazing group you've gathered here. I come to Moby. I'm from Los Angeles, Long Beach specifically, and I've been living in Mexico for about 9 months. And I come from money out, voters in. I realized after Citizens United happened, although I was interested in healthcare and a million different issues, including climate, I realized that the only thing that could really be done is the first thing that needed to be done, which was the center of it, was the money. So money out. And then now we're kind of doing voters in, which is getting young people to vote. And so I'm very excited to help in any way I can. I'm currently working on getting Democrats abroad. Thinking of where I am and what I'm doing, Democrats abroad means getting Democrats around the world who are living in various countries to vote. And they're very excited. They really like the idea of young people as a focus, which is why do you vote focus. So it's coming together, and hopefully in a few weeks I'll have some good news that we've got a really big, strong organization behind this movement.
Yes, and I do want to mention that we are a nonpartisan campaign. Actually, all of the issues in our campaign, over 70% of Americans agree upon, shockingly. So, okay, next, Susan Hamer, do you want to introduce yourself and all the great work you're doing?
Yeah, so it's so great to be here. Well, I'm a former television producer, writer, and director, and I got into the food world, producing an event for the 30th anniversary of the Santa Monica Farmers Market with Laura Avery, and I think that's where I met Frances. And I've also worked with Sylvie. Her film is amazing, and I've been to her workshops and Esalen and forest bathing, and very happy to be here. I've worked on marketing on a lot of independent films and documentaries, including Holly's documentary and Sylvie's documentary, and many others, including recently the film Common Ground, that's the sequel to Kiss the Ground, and The Biggest Little Farms, and Sea of Shadows, about saving, a lot of biodiversity films. So that's my passion place, is films about climate and farms and food and health. And I am planning on going to the Hollywood Climate Summit. It's going to be amazing. I look forward to seeing you, Amber, and glad to be here and learn more.
Thank you, Susan. And Nancy, do you want to go next?
Sure. So interestingly, where I work out of, the Kiss the Ground team works here as well, and Yay Impact, who are putting together the climate summit, also assemble that out of here too. So we're all sort of physically connected as well as, metaphysically. And I've worked in lots of different environmental nonprofits, and am helping the team because I also have worked with the Environmental Media Association doing things to green productions. And I'm working with the team to put together some, entertaining videos in support of the movement.
Thanks, Nancy. And I see two callers on the phone. There's one with a 720. Can you join, or the three? If not, that's okay. We understand being on the phone. Joining. Oh, yes. Okay.
I am unmuted.
Yes. You are.
This is Carol Barbito from
Oh,
Earth
Carol,
Protect.
wonderful. Yes.
I couldn't get it, and the Zoom link didn't work, so I've been sitting here on the phone.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us, Carol. Okay, and then we have a 310 also on the phone. If not, Joe, I'll let you introduce yourself real quickly. And San. Oh, you're muted, Joe. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Well, welcome.
Okay,
Joe.
great. Hi, everyone. Holly, this is amazing. Thank you for pulling this together. Holly and I worked together a few years back and have always been kind of in the same circles. I do a lot of work in last almost 20 years working in homelessness, here specifically in Los Angeles, working within the social enterprise field, working with both locally as a practitioner, but also advocating towards laws that can help social enterprises grow and scale, and LGBT. So all of these come together to, with a huge need for continuing our democracy in America, and also the environment. The environment is kind of impacts all of us at every level, from economically as well as environmentally. So I'm enjoying this conversation. Thank you.
Great. And then the on the phone, the 310-924, you have your hand up. Now you're unmuted. Go ahead. Hello, you are unmuted at the 310. And you have your hand up. Yeah, oh, they muted themselves again. Okay, well, I'm gonna start, I know San and Jennifer, after I do the presentation, I will, oh wait, you're unmuted again. Go ahead. Well, I'll start sharing. Go ahead. Okay, well, I'll start sharing. So make sure you put your name and everything in the document that we've shared so people can stay connected. And then I wanted to walk through, we are here to teach people how to engage in this social action campaign, as well as to have the conversation around climate. And we're doing these calls every Tuesday from now until the election because we vote on Tuesdays. And it's important that we get people to engage on social media. As I mentioned, young people are getting, they're spending 3 to 5 hours a day on social media, and they're getting their news from social media. So the more voices we can have on social media, encouraging people that we vote for the climate between now and the election, the more we can influence them to vote for our future and have a positive, inspiring, way, reminding them that their voice is important. So let me give you a 1-minute video of what we're doing.
I vote for women's choice because we need autonomy over our own bodies. Why do you vote?
I vote because democracy is an important part of the American spirit. Why do you vote?
I vote because the people who came before me made so many sacrifices to make my vote count. And that's why I vote. Why do you vote?
I vote because I want kids to be safe at school. Why do you vote?
I vote because of marriage equality. Why do you vote?
For our environment, to hear our planet, to hear your rights, to hear for everything. So that's the reason I vote. Why do you vote?
I vote because I believe in universal health care for all. Why do you vote?
I vote because I care about marriage equality and people exercising their rights. Why do you vote?
I vote because action is the antidote to despair. Why do you vote?
VOTE.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. So it's really simple. As you saw, in 1 minute, we had 8 people presenting about voting. And these are the 7 issues. Of course, we're here today about climate. I'm going to share this in that group document, how to unblock political content, because that is a real hindrance these days. Oops, that's not the right one. Okay, I'll do that later. But you'll want to unblock your political content on Instagram. And after the call, we'd invite you all to create your own post and invite other people to create your own post. And it's very simple. You just write your script, you film yourself, and you post it to your socials. And we have a toolkit that you'll be able to see later that walks you through all of this. And of course, today's is about climate. So we'll ask you to do a climate video. As an example, you know, actually 74% of Americans care about our climate. I don't know what's wrong with the other 26%, but seriously. And, you know, we've, you know, you speak from your heart. So the campaign is very simple. As you saw, you start with I vote because, and then you fill in the blank, speaking from your heart and being specific and personal. If climate is affecting you, I mean, like what Cindy mentioned about the howler monkeys is, you know, devastating to witness that, and that we all need to be stewards of our earth. And then you know, you end with the question, why do you vote? And then we'll ask you to follow all of our socials. And again, these will be on our shared document. And I can also put it in the chat so people can, you know, take time and follow all of us and share. And then we'd like you to commit to submit by a certain date. And I have a place where you can fill out the form and do your videos. And we want to get as many young people. The real vision is to get, you know, each young person to have seen 7 or 8 of these between now and the election, because with messaging, it's so important to stick. And that these are positive, hopeful messages that link what people, you know, young people are voting for, and that their voice has a power. And we also want people to engage in other ways, not just in the social media campaign, but to get involved. And I just quickly wanted to show you from, you know, we are trying to get young people excited, disrupting the despair, changing the narrative that they're not voting for candidates and the hopelessness of despair. It's not about this race of the top 2. What really affects us is down ballot, all these other people in power making decisions at the local, state level. It's so important. And I wanted to also share that, you know, the top 3 reasons young people actually vote is not about candidates at all. So every time people start to engage in that narrative of the candidates, it's actually that it's a responsibility that their vote can affect the outcome, and voting is a right. So we want to change the narrative that this is about, you know, it's not about candidates. It's about us. They work for us. And our vote needs to matter. And then we follow up just like what Mike is doing with, you know, engaging with Assemblymember Isaac. It's, you know, we can hold them accountable. So get them to vote and then hold them accountable. So that's our campaign. And I'll share all of this in our shared doc. But I see the person on the phone again has their hand up and is unmuted. So hopefully you can join this time. Hello? Okay. If not, I mean, that's the presentation. People are you know, welcome to stay longer and engage some more. But I wanted you to, I hope you all will take the time and invite others to do these posts so that we can reach as many young people as possible. Oh, Susan, I see you have your hand up as well.
Yeah, we were supposed to share with young voters. Is that the idea?
I mean, anybody, but especially young voters. You know, this campaign is, you know, can reach anybody. But the young people are on social media so that, you know, we really do want to inspire young voters. They do, you know.
What
they've
ages
shown up-
are you? What age
I
group?
mean, 17 to 35, you know, there's a lot. But you know, anybody, I actually would love to share, we have one great, Hayden and Ed Bagley Jr. did this video, so let me share this as well. I love, they did an intergenerational video and it's had over 300,000 views so
Clean air.
far.
I vote to keep our rivers clean and our water usable.
I vote to protect native trees like this.
I vote because solar power works. We vote because we care about the future of our planet.
Why do you vote?
Cool.
I vote for clean air.
I vote to keep our rivers clean and our water.
So, you know, I encourage, I'll also share that link in the shared doc. So please feel free to share that, share any of our posts. Like the more we get out there on the internet, the more people that get this message and think of voting as affecting our future. You know, that's really what we're about. Okay.
Lots of support.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if you can do one, you know, anybody you think would be willing to do one, we would love to have to do one. And on our website, let me share our website here. And on there, you can see the link to the coffee chats, the link to the participation toolkit. You know, everything I just showed you is there so that people can do it on their own time. And then we have a submission form at the bottom of the participation toolkit so that people will dedicate. Oh, hi, Ron. I see you've joined us. You're muted, but yes. And I know some.
Holly,
Yes, Carol?
and in terms of not getting the link for today, so we can't see what all you're putting up or see the chat.
Yeah.
Are you going to send a new link every week?
Yes. So
Because the old one wouldn't take me in. I didn't
Oh,
get a new
that's so weird. I feel.
Yeah, I just got on after more than a half an hour of trying, and I think it would be so helpful if the link was more visible because I only found it in the frequently asked questions
Okay, I
after
did
literally a half an hour of searching. So just very frustrating.
Okay, that's
And
great
I
feedback.
sent it to a number of people and was just picturing them going like, well, would love to participate, but
Okay, I mean, there is supposed to be that extra step so we don't get the bombers, you know, the Zoom
right.
bombers. But,
It's just
yeah, I
that
don't want to, I will look into that. That's
people,
great
I don't know if
feedback.
people would normally look in the frequently asked questions. Anyway, just a suggestion, like
Yeah, no, I'm
make the
sorry
link
to hear that. That's
easier to
really
access.
frustrating. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
working out the kinks, but
I'm glad I made it.
yes.
Holly,
Yes, Frances.
I have a question. That I know someone very much involved in all that we're talking about, who has said that writing letters is much more effective in getting people out to vote than telephone calls. People are kind of put off by calls. And so I've done some letter writing and want to do a lot more. In fact, thinking about trying to get a letter writing party at our office here.
Oh,
And
that's great. Yeah.
if you've heard that also, or if there's any evidence for that letters really matter.
I have heard letters are wonderful. Postcards are letters. In fact, one of our partners is Letters for Democracy, and they're hosting letter writing parties regularly. We're also gonna, you know, there's many ways you're gonna reach different people, but a handwritten note is very empowering. So we encourage all of it. I mean, people need to engage how they can to get out the vote. And that's a wonderful, yeah, doing a party. And it's one of our suggestions on how to engage more is the letter writing parties. I also participated in the Black Voters Matter text-a-thon, just reminding people about the election the next day and voting. And it was great to see the positive responses. And there you can reach a lot more people quickly. So I think we have to just engage in all of it and do what we can in our time, with our volunteer time, how much we can.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, who doesn't love getting something in the mail? It feels special. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I have a quick question, if I may. The hashtags, I mean, of course, hashtag why do you vote, but are there any other hashtags that?
Yes, so for climate, we have Vote Climate, and all of this is on our participation toolkit. We have and on our website, we have all the suggestions. So we have a suggested hashtag for each. Also, are you registered? So with our campaign, we're also trying to get to the critical thinking of young people. Like you say, I vote because, and then you share why, and then you're asking them. So you're engaging them to think. So hashtag, are you registered is already, they're like, oh, if they read it, they're already making their brain think in the question form. So then hopefully they will go the step further. So I would say vote climate and are you registered hashtags would be a great one for now, when we need to first focus on getting people registered. And as we move through the campaign, right now it's getting people registered and then encouraging them to study their ballot, vote by mail, all of that.
Great, thanks.
Yes, okay. Anything else? I mean, I didn't want to go too long on everybody's, we've all had a long weekend and getting back to work. So if there's nothing else, but please engage in our campaign. On that sheet, I'm going to add all of our info. So we really hope that you can engage with us, and we look forward to continuing the conversation on the other coffee chats. And if you liked this format, please invite other people. And then Ron, we will hopefully figure out all the and Carol, the kinks for getting on. I've been trying to text people if I saw that they've registered, and if you RSVP through Eventbrite, it should hopefully come through, but I apologize for that.
And if you're aware of any events where we can engage with the public and film and create some more content, please let us know as well. We're on the lookout for events where that would be feasible.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd love to actually film at the Hollywood Summit. I think I'll stop the recording